In English, in conditional clauses, we have some types, such as type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. In our previous lessons, we studied about type 0 and type 1, and now let's see something about that type 2. In English, while we are imagining something, for example, what is reality? I am poor. What is my imagination? What is my imagination? What is my dream maybe? If I were rich. So, after if, when I use simple past tense, I am imagining this situation. The reality, you are not rich. You just thinking about and giving some imagination in your mind, you were rich. So, if I were rich, what would you do? So, what is your imagination? I would buy a Ferrari. You know, Ferrari is a very expensive car. So, in order to get a Ferrari, you need a lot of money. But in reality, you don't have enough money. Maybe you have money, but you can just survive. So you can go to work, you can come home, you can go to the supermarket, but that's it. So you are a normal person. But if I were rich, if I were very rich, what is your imagination? What do you imagine? I would buy a Ferrari. So, in if clauses, when you use type 2, after if, we put past form. And after comma, as a second part of the sentence, we use would and word one. Sometimes, instead of would, we can use could or might. They're also possible to see, but in general, we use would, we see and we hear would. That's why it's a kind of some rule, but it is not an exact rule. The rule means if plus simple past form, the part of the sentence, if part of the sentence, but the second part, the rest of the sentence, should include would and by. Would plus word one. So, in type 2, as I said before, we are talking about, we are imagining, we are giving our maybe future dreams, and this is a kind of some reality in our minds, not in reality, not in this world. This is in my mind. And when you are talking about some past events, and they did, and they happened in the past, so we are not using type 2. In order to talking about past events in English, we prefer type 3. Let's see something about type 3, and then we can compare again. While we are talking about past events, such as, for example, there was a wedding ceremony yesterday, and I didn't know this. Nobody told me. Nobody and no friend told me, so I didn't know it before. I didn't know yesterday. So I say today, for example, if I had known, so this part is the reality. But the reality is, in the past, I didn't know. What is my idea now? If I had known there was a wedding ceremony, I would have gone. So here, would have gone, this is would have plus past participle. In this situation, I should understand, nobody told me That's why I didn't know yesterday, so I didn't go. But now I can make a comment. I can give some criticism. For example, I can criticize my friend. I can complain about it. I can get angry with him or her. So, because nobody told me, that's why I didn't know there was a wedding ceremony. And now I am telling, if I had known there was a wedding ceremony yesterday, I would have gone. But the reality is, I didn't go because I didn't know it. This is my comment. This is my past situation comment at the moment. So, in English, you shouldn't confuse with type 2 and type 3 because while we are talking about type 2, we are imagining, okay? Imaginations. But while we are talking about type 3, we are talking about past events. One more important detail. If you imagine something, you can change it tomorrow. Maybe, for example, now the reality, you don't know German. But you say, if I spoke German, if I knew German, I would get the job. So this is the reality you don't know. But what can you change? What can you do? Tomorrow you can start a German class. You can start your German lesson. So you can change something. It is possible to change. But in type 3, you cannot change anything. So these kind of past events happened in the past, and now you are just making some comments. You are just giving some idea. You are just giving some complaining, maybe. I mean, you are just giving your opinion about the past event situation. So type 2 is possible because it is about your future. It is about your imagination. You can change it. But past events, you can only talk about them. You cannot change them. When you use type 2, it is possible to change because it is your future imagination. But when you use type 3, you cannot change. You can just talk about the past situations. Okay, for if clauses, you can use type 0 for general facts and scientific truth, but you can use type 1 for general situations in your daily life. If you do something, you will do something. If you do something, it will happen, blah, blah. So there are some probabilities, possibilities in real life, in reality. If you use type 2, you are talking about imaginations. And if you use type 3, you are just talking about and giving some comment or opinion about your past. For conditional clauses, that's all from me. And in our last lesson, as you can receive, we studied type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. And in our next lessons, we are going to study about mixed conditionals and unless usage. But for now, it's okay. Thank you so much for listening and joining me. Bye-bye.